Hi, I'm Shannon, and I spent the last 6 months working for Disney World. Here's my name tag to prove it. Also an entire YouTube channel. When I and my friends worked for Disney, we had somewhat of a running joke about the guests. We'd ask a parent or a kid in the park, "What's your favorite Disney movie?" And they would reply, "Harry Potter. How do I get to Harry Potter World?" And if you don't understand why that joke is funny, then this video is for you. The top 10 animated films that get mistaken for Disney films from the perspective of a past Disney employee. Let's go. Before I start, just because a movie's on this list doesn't mean it's good or bad or that I like it or dislike it, just that it was mistaken commonly for a Disney film. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way. Number 10, The Lorax. Okay guys, I do get this one. I understand why everyone thinks it's a Disney film. I mean, Disney wants to eat up every other franchise that ever existed, so it would make sense that they own the Seuss franchise, but they don't. Illumination Studios has the rights to the Lorax. And they're the ones responsible for this hot mess of a film. I hate the Lorax so much. Oh, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. Anyway, the reason you know this one isn't a film by Disney is that it slaps you in the face with bright colors and cutesiness. I mean, Disney does bright colors and cutesiness, but this one's really in your face about it. Also, what's in your face is a huge anti-corporation political message. Disney does not do controversy, guys. Yeah, get used to me saying this. You're gonna hear this a lot. Disney does not do controversy. They may slip something into a Pixar film that's really subtle, but they definitely don't hit you over the head with it the way the Lorax did. Disney is very protective of their image. And that's why it's kind of amazing that the next film on my list ever got made. What is it? Number 9, Shrek. Have you guys even seen this movie? Look, the imagery is making fun of Disney. They draw in all the fairy tale characters and then mess up their whole story.
DreamWorks Pictures invites you to a land of fairy tales.
Hey! Oh, no, dead girl, off the table!
Where are we supposed to put her? The bed's taken.
Remember how I said Disney was protective of their image? This movie was made by DreamWorks, and at that time, DreamWorks was basically a bunch of disgruntled, angry Disney employees who hated the fact that they couldn't work for Disney anymore. And this film does not try to hide that at all. Also, Shrek has too many sequels to be a Disney movie. And also, it just has too many sequels.
How many Shreks did they do?
Well, there was Shrek, Shrek 2, Shrek the Third, Shrek Forever After, I Still Know What You Did Last Shrek.
Check out the Halloween ones and the Christmas ones.
Rasha Shrek, Shrek Converts to Judaism.
I mean, yeah, Disney's done a sequel or two, but they weren't, what's the word I'm looking for, good? Also, they were just released straight to video. Disney doesn't do sequels. And if you thought Shrek was bad with sequels, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because the next film on the list had like 12. No, really, like 12.
Beginning with The Land Before Time, The Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure, The Land Before Time 3, The Time of the Great Giving, The Land Before Time 4, Journey Through the Mists, The Land Before Time 5, The Mysterious Island, and the latest release, The Land Before Time 6, The Secret of Saurus Rock.
Number 8, The Land Before Time.
And don't forget the Land Before Time sing-along songs.
So as I was
And the brand new Land Before Time More sing-along songs.
So as I was saying... Now, I can definitely understand why someone would think that Land Before Time is a Disney film. It was animated by Don Bluth, and he basically wanted to be Disney. And he actually worked for Disney for a while. He even put the Disney logo before his films to test audiences so they would give it higher ratings. But there are a few things that you'll notice about Don Bluth films that give it away. Mainly, the thing that I notice is the saturated colors. Disney films always look like they're coloring in the lines, while Don Bluth always looks like he spilled water on his animation and then said, It's good enough. Just throw it on. It's just for kids anyway. That's not to say that Don Bluth movies aren't good, but they are easily mistaken for Disney. We're going to talk about Don Bluth a lot more, so I'm going to keep it short here, but back to DreamWorks for number 7. That brings us to number 7 on the list, Ants. Now, Ants is a film that had a lot of controversy around it when it first came out, mostly because it looked like another Disney film, Bug's Life, that came out the same year. This controversy was so heated that people are still talking about it.
It's a bug-eat-bug world out there.
Someone could get hurt.
And not just on the internet like me.
I am a huge Woody Allen fan, although I've only seen Ants. But I'll tell you something. What I respect about that man is that when he was going through all of that stuff that came out in the press about how Ants was just a ripoff of A Bug's Life, he stayed true to his films, or at least the film that I saw, which again was Ants. Thing is, I thought Bug's Life was better, much better than Ants. Point is, don't listen to your critics, listen to your fans.
He's quite the motivational speaker, isn't he?
Yeah, well, the difference between the DreamWorks one and the Disney one is that the DreamWorks one looked kind of too realistic. Don't get me wrong, parts of it are very creative and awesome to look at, but after 2 hours of looking at insects, yeah, the Disney version was a lot easier on the eyes. But that's not to say that DreamWorks looking hyper-realistic didn't help them in the future. Look at this next film. Number 6, Prince of Egypt. Part of the reason that this movie is so good is because it is realistic. While it may have hurt Ants to be too realistic, with the underground world of insects not being very appealing to look at, Egypt was the perfect place to be very realistic with. The Prince of Egypt was pitched to Disney, but they turned it down. Gee, I wonder why. I mean, this is how Aladdin portrayed the Middle East.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid.
And this is how DreamWorks portrayed the Middle East.
The sting of the whip on my shoulder, with the salt of my sweat on my brow.
Remember how I said Disney doesn't do controversy? Yeah, this movie was banned in all of the countries, including Egypt.
I don't understand.
I am the God of your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Who made man's mouth? Who made the deaf, the mute, the seeing, or the blind? Did not I? Now go!
Yeah, Disney just really wouldn't do a deeply religious film like that. Which brings us to number 5. All Dogs Go to Heaven. Or do they? I said we'd be talking about Don Bluth again, and here we go. Look at this. This looks like Snow White. I mean, am I the only one seeing this? Look, okay, sorry. So, we already established that Don Bluth wanted to be Disney, and this film he really tried. This is one of his more well-known films, but people still seem to get it confused for Disney. It does have some of the hallmarks of a Disney film. All Dogs Go to Heaven may seem like a cutesy, innocent kids movie on the surface, but when you really look at it, it deals with a lot of themes about heaven and hell and religion, and Disney just wouldn't do that. Remember how I said Disney doesn't do controversy? That brings us to number 4 on the list. The Iron Giant. Highly regarded as one of the best underrated animated movies of all time, The Iron Giant is a movie about warfare, gun control, souls.
It's a missile. When it comes down, everyone will die.
There it is!
But why does it seem to get so often confused for a Disney film? Let's see who did the animation. Oh, it's that guy. Yeah, now that makes sense. It is animated by Brad Bird, and he did the animation for The Incredibles, and a lot of other great films that Disney did. So it's definitely understandable that this amazing movie with great animation gets mistaken for a Disney film all the time. Number 3, Chicken Run. Yeah, this one's probably the most baffling on the list, just because everybody seems to know that Wallace and Gromit have nothing to do with Disney and they're from a British company.
Pushy Americans.
Hi, how are you?
Overpaid, oversexed, and over here.
While most of the films on this list are mistaken for Disney because of the animation style, Chicken Run gets mistaken in spite of the animation style. Chicken Run doesn't look like a Disney film at all. Have you ever seen a claymation Disney film? This one's pretty easy to remember. Once you know it's not a Disney film, you're probably not going to think it is again. Also, DreamWorks was the studio that teamed up with the claymation company from Britain to make this film. It seems like whether or not a studio's trying to look like Disney, like Don Bluth, or trying to differentiate themselves from Disney, like DreamWorks, they just keep getting mistaken for Disney. Aren't you sick of hearing about DreamWorks and Don Bluth? Yeah, me too. This next film was made by neither of them. And that brings us to number 2 on the list, Ice Age.
Prepare for the Ice Age! Ice Age?
Yes, you heard me right. A film that gets mistaken for Disney that has neither Don Bluth nor DreamWorks influence. And maybe that's why it was actually so good. It's actually made by Blue Sky. Yeah, did you even know they existed? A lot of people don't. They weren't trying to be Disney, they weren't trying to differentiate themselves from Disney. They were just doing their own thing. And ironically, because it's so good, it does get mistaken for Disney. Blue Sky made this film, and they're a studio that kind of gets forgotten a lot. Like, you see the trailers and then you kind of forget about their movies. You know, they made Rio, Ice Age. I mean, look at how Disney animated the eyes on a fish compared to the size of the eyes animated on a Blue Sky mammoth. His name literally means large. Ice Age might not have had any controversy surrounding it, but man, did it have a lot of sequels. And again, if a movie has this many sequels, it's not a Disney movie. What's the movie that everyone thinks is Disney, but actually isn't? Number 1 is Anastasia. Yep, that's right. This is not a Disney movie. A lot of people think it is because it's an animated princess, and there aren't a lot of animated princesses in the animation world outside of Disney. But Don Bluth wanted to be who? Disney. So he animated a princess movie at the same time that all these princess movies came out. And it worked because a lot of people think that Anastasia is a Disney princess. And that's understandable. It does have a lot of the facets of a Disney film. It has princesses, songs, puppies, a prince, totally destroying history. Also, did I mention Don Bluth's habit of putting annoying hats on his characters? What, are you just really bad at animating the tops of people's heads? The easiest way to remember that this one's not a Disney film? Just look at a picture of all the Disney princesses together. You don't see Anastasia. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Tell me in the comment section below, which movies did you like and which movies should you stay far, far away from? Please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button because I have a whole YouTube channel about how I used to work for Disney and how you can too. I really appreciate your support. It allows me to keep creating good content. Thanks and have a magical day!